Peace and blessings to the chosen. Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS. Salutations to the Akim, pushing this truth with sincerity and charity. I'm the brother Yalad, and the subject matter of this video is that sometimes you have to mind your business. Quick disclaimer before I get into the nitty-gritty where it ain't pretty. There's a place for you to speak. There's a time and a place for you to be vocal. And granted, in many cases, if you see something, say something. And some things you don't turn a blind eye on. You don't just look away from. But in these times that we coming in, because the days are short, the time is evil. And at Ephesians 5, let me get it. That might be the last precept. This is Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus 3:21. Seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, not to search the things that are above thy strength. And that's going more into over reading and over doing your reading, and because tell us about how much reading is weariness of the flesh, but it says seek out things that are not too hard for thee. So it's a bit off topic, but some Ecclesiastes 12:12, and further by these, my son, be admonished of the making of books. There's no end, and much study is weariness of the flesh. So you can exhaust yourself by doing too much. Generally, that is relevant, but a bit off topic to minding your business. Otherwise, you're doing too much, right? You have certain limitations because you are in the flesh, because you have a body that can be sick, that can be weary, that can faint. You have limitations. And you are not to be over righteous and try to, tempt the Lord. Now, granted, with other situations is what this video is really pertaining to. Sirach 11:10. Sirach 11:9. Strive not in the matter that concerneth thee not, and sit not in the judgment with sinners. So if you see strife or a matter going by that doesn't concern you, it more likely is best for you mind your business. Verse 10 of that Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, my son, meddle not with many matters, for if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shalt thou escape by fleeing. So yeah, who will pity the snake charmer? You involve yourself in other people's business, and now you catching the flouse with them. Because the thing is, the men of the Lord understand judgment. And some people, they go through certain things because they have to. And you got to allow them to go through that by themselves. And if you helping these people, that's why Scripture says, know to whom you do good. Let me get it quick. Sirach 12:1, when thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it, so shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits, right? Because it talks about giving to the godly and not helping the sinner. And if you helping that sinner, you finna pay a portion of their punishment with them because you helping them, right? The Lord, he ain't gonna quit the wicked. So everybody got to be punished. And if you trying to share that punishment with buddy, this is why you're not really supposed to feel sorry for people when you see them messed up, because it's a judgment. You don't know what they did in their past lives or even in this life. You got to let them catch that spiritual butt whooping. When demons are plaguing people, making them go insane, making them do things. Sometimes you just got to mind your business. Proverbs 26:17, he that passeth by and meddle with strife belonging not to him is like one that taketh the dog by the ears. So You have, I say, for instance, a man beating the crap out of his woman, a DV, domestic violence. The scriptures say, I know not the way of a man with his maiden, or some along them lines, or a way of a man with his woman or his wife, whatever. You don't know how many times they did. There's a story of a man that saw some DV, right? He thought he was going to help the woman, and I believe either the man shot him or the woman shot him, and they both ran away together in the same car. They drove off. They're still going to be together after that, stupid. They're still going to work it out. So that, and you a fool. You involved yourself in that don't pertain to you, and you jumped into a situation in an altercation, and they still finna be doing the same thing next week. But this is what I mean by Ephesians 5:15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And the will of the Lord is some of these people got to get jacked up. Some of these people got to get punished, man. Don't feel sorry for them. Sometimes you got to mind your business. Ain't nothing you could do. I mean, they wouldn't feel sorry for you. Shit. I'm just being for real, man. But Lord willing, this was edifying. I ain't want to touch too much on no, I grabbed a couple precepts, and maybe 3, 4, 5, something. I got Ephesians, the Proverbs, the 2 Sirachs, and an Ecclesiastes. So 5 scriptures going on. Sometimes it's best to just stay in your lane, do what you got to do for, first and foremost, serve the Lord. That's first priority. And second priority, do what you got to do for you. Everything else is just is side quests, side activities. So, so it's good to stay in your own lane. There's nothing wrong with you overstep, try to be somebody else, you're going to get hurt bad. Be yourself. I say it quite often enough. You avoid so much trouble just being yourself, being who you are, and staying in your own lane. And there's nothing wrong with that. That don't mean you got to be bashful, hate yourself over much, and make yourself too humble, and make yourself too quiet, and you hitting yourself, or you trying to hide yourself because you embarrassed to be seen. I'm not saying you got to do that. I'm not saying that you got to do that, but what I am saying is that sometimes it's good to just mind your business. Sometimes you want to be invisible. Sometimes you really want to be invisible, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's a balance to everything, so just take some of the things I said with a little bit of salt on it. Lord willing, this was edifying. Shalom.